Whole Foods, Trinity, San Francisco. What up, internet world? It's your boy Jermaine back with another video. So this video, we're gonna talk about this Whole Foods, the one that just closed in the city. And we just gonna do like a story time video, kinda. We're gonna talk about the history, right? And then we're gonna talk about, right before it opened, when it opened. And then we're gonna talk about the temporary closure, because that's what they're calling it. Which temporary could mean they might be closed for a couple years, right? And yeah, let's just, we're gonna make a long one. So we're gonna chill. We're gonna talk about this, and we're gonna get Whole Foods 30 minutes, y'all. Cause ain't not a lot going on today. Uber is slow. There's a little job fair going on down the street at Embarcadero, but I went by there and talked to a couple people. And not anything I want to do. I want to do some window washing or something like that. Anybody out there know who will hire me to do window washing, like off of the side of a skyscraper? I'm down with that. But anyway, let's just jump into this Whole Foods, because we got something to talk about right here, because Whole Foods is crazy. So let's go back in time, right? Let's go back before the pandemic, okay? Right before the pandemic, they was putting up the signs, it was getting ready to open. They were finishing the building because it took years. It took years for them to build the Trinity projects. Like it just took forever. They should have built it a lot faster. They built like the first two on the Mission side, and then it just took them forever to build the other three. But now, the building's finally open and the neighborhood's dead, because we just had the tech exodus a couple years ago. So right when this Whole Foods first opened, I remember I was really excited about it, because it had been like a year that they had signs up saying coming soon, it's gonna open. So I was just ready, because it's gonna be a different location. Now, one thing that was kind of crazy about, this whole location opening, it was a little weird that you're gonna have a location open with like the exodus going on, right? Because just at 8th and Market is the Whole Foods, or was the Whole Foods. Well, at 10th and Market, you got like a lot of tech folks that live around there. You got Uber in that area. You got Square. You also have what's the other one? Uber, Square, and I can't remember the other one that's down there. Uber, Square, Twitter, right? But I guess Twitter is, is kind of closed down. And, Uber, they've kind of laid off a lot. You don't really see a lot of folks in that area as much, because Uber's kind of moved down to their other campus in, Mission Bay. They want to get out of that neighborhood too. So now you just got a store that's opening, and it's cool that the store is opening, right? Great. But you really don't have the same people in the neighborhood that was here before the pandemic. Because before the pandemic, like, this neighborhood was thriving, right? It was definitely some struggles going on in this neighborhood, but it was for real on the up and up, right? The whole mid-market area, they were doing a lot of work, putting up a lot of new buildings, right? You just in between what, 8th and 5th, you have a handful of new buildings that went up. And a lot of these opened up right around the time of the pandemic, or maybe some opened up a little bit before, maybe some opened up a little bit after. But after the pandemic, there's a lot of vacancies in the mid-market area. And the mid-market area is a very challenging area to rent to right now, because if you can afford to pay those rents, right, why would you want to live like right smack dead in the middle of downtown with multiple stores like closing all around you, right? So it's kind of like a lose-lose situation. But however, when they built the Trinity Towers, they were not expecting a pandemic to come along. And when they built the Trinity Towers, Whole Foods is gonna move in. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna move in, and we still gotta move in. So Whole Foods, they opened, they moved in, right? Now they're in the neighborhood, okay? So I remember the first day I went to Whole Foods. It was a lot of fun. It was, I walked in, I was really, really surprised to see how long the escalators were. I thought the store was gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful store, modern store. A lot of our Whole Foods around the city, they've kind of been there for a while. So they not as modern, right? And this is a brand new store, in a brand new building. Very convenient location right next to a BART stop, so you could easily get off the train, pop into Whole Foods, grab something, leave, right? Very, very convenient location. But, on the first day, I really didn't notice much, right? I didn't really notice it was, it's going to be a major problem. But then after going to the store like over and over, right? Because I would, go, and since it was so close in the neighborhood, I wouldn't really grocery shop there. I would just go there and pick up like 3, 4 items at a time, just because I, live pretty close, and it was just kind of convenient to just pop in and, grab a loaf of bread and like leave, right? And then I noticed maybe after the third or fourth time going there, because after it opened, I was kind of going there like every day. It's like, I can get something, go to the hot bar, go see if they got any vegan pizza, right? Then it got to a point where I would go in there and I would just see people shoplifting, right? And then I would go in there and I would be followed around, right? So we'll first start off with me being followed around, because let's just chat on that for a minute. So one thing I noticed that was very odd is it seems like if they like some of their security were just programmed to go after certain types of people, regardless of whatever, right? Now, one huge problem with this store is right across the street, the city had a leakage center. If you don't know what a leakage center is, this is a center where people can go and there's professionals there and they will watch them as they're doing like hard drugs, basically. And this was, I mean, feet from the entrance of the Whole Foods location. Literally, feet, right? I mean, it's so close. And sometimes I would, I would, see people like go in and take stuff all the time. After maybe the third or fourth time me going there, I would see it all the time. And then it got to a point where whenever I would go in, like I would notice that like security would like always follow me, or I would be looking at I would like go and get something, right? And I would go look for the next item. And I noticed like out the corner of my eyes, there's like the security guard, he's like poking around the side, seeing if I'm gonna stick it in my bag, right? And then I got to a point where like, okay, I kind of get why you're doing that, because I literally could stick this in my bag, right? I could just do it, right? And then I got to a point where like, look, I'm just gonna just not wear a backpack, right? I'm just gonna go over there and just not wear a backpack, because I'm only getting 2 things, right? And then I noticed I would go in there with no backpack on, no baggy clothes on, no hoodie, right? Just like a shirt. And they would still do that to me. So after that started to happen, I was just like, okay, yeah, this really sucks. I get it that a lot of people come through here and a lot of people are, high and they're doing stuff and they grab food and walk out. But, I didn't know that I fit that, description, right? I didn't know I was in that category, right? So it made me very, very uncomfortable to, like, go there, right? To see, me being followed around. And it's like, I don't even look the same, right? Like, I'm dressed completely different. Like, I'm not dirty. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's profiling. Maybe it's just following protocols. I mean, what are the protocols, right? But this was just my experience over and over going there. And then it got to a point where like every time I would go there, I would get pissed, and it would change like the rest of my day, right? So I would go there at like maybe 10 in the morning, and I would like get a loaf of bread or get something, right? And then I would get followed by a security guard, and then I would like, get pissed and like say something like, why are you following me, and then I'm just doing my job. You're doing your job. Your job is just to follow me around. Well, I'm security and I have to like walk around, but you're like walking around and you're like, you're literally following me, Yeah, but I'm just doing my job. So your job is to follow me and like, follow me. Like, you want to hold my item since you're following me and watching me the whole time as this person over here is like putting stuff in their bag. It got to be like that. And I was like, look, this is not a good way to start my day. So we're just gonna not go here as much, right? So I started not to go as much. I remember once, I was there, and one thing that really shocked me was how they would do this crazy thing with the restroom, okay? And I thought this was kind of messed up. I didn't share this online because there's a couple incidents that happened at the Whole Foods store that I did not share online because I didn't want it linked up with me. I didn't want it coming from me, right? And these are things that I did not make up. These are things that like I have like proof, right? These are things like I filmed and like certain incidents I saw there. I went there once and I really, really had to pee. And I knew that I needed to buy something to go to the toilet, and that wasn't a problem at all because it was like something I needed to buy. I think I forgot what I got, but I went in and got one thing that I needed, got a receipt. After I got the receipt, I took the receipt over to the restroom. And to get to the restroom, there's like sort of like a little hallway by the braid aisle or by the former braid aisle. There's a hallway that you go down. But to get to that hallway, there's like a security guard standing there, so you have to like go by the security guard. Well, I was under the impression that the security guard was there to check your receipt, to make sure that your items, I was under the impression that the security guard, I'm not gonna edit this video by the way, because I don't edit these. I was under the impression that the security guard was like sitting there to like look at your receipt to go to the restroom. But actually the security guard, I don't think that was his reason at all, because when I went over to go to the restroom, like I showed him the receipt and like he basically like didn't even really look at it or just kind of didn't really even pay any attention. So I get over to the restrooms and I noticed that like all the doors look like they're occupied, right? Because I'd never ever used the toilet at this Whole Foods location. I always used the one at like, the Castro location or the one maybe on 4th Street. So I go over here, I'm looking around, and there's a guy standing here who looks like he is high out of his mind on something, right? And I was asking, I was like, hey, so how do you get into the restroom? And the guy said, oh, you have to have a phone to get into the restroom. And I just kind of thought for a minute, like, so I just went and bought this item to get the code for the bathroom for the receipt. And then on top of that, I need to use my phone to get in the bathroom. And I'm like, how do you do this, right? So the guy told me, he was like, look on the door. You need to like scan this barcode, right? It's like a QR code. So you have to pull out your phone, open the camera, do that. It's gonna send you this link on this page, right? And it's gonna pop up on your phone. And then you take that link and you point it on the door, because there's like a scanner on the door, and then the door would open. And I was just thinking to myself, what if I didn't have a phone? What if my phone was dead? Like I just couldn't go to the restroom at this location. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up this whole bathroom situation is because I thought this was a little insane here. Because myself, I've been to Whole Foods all over the country. I've even been to Whole Foods outside of the country. And I've never, ever seen a bathroom system like this bathroom system at this Whole Foods. Now, I get it. What they're basically trying to do, and this is what Whole Foods don't want people to talk about, basically, they don't want people to go in the bathroom and get high on drugs and then pass out, right? And then you have customers come up, open the door and see that, and then take a photo of that and then put that on the social media. This is what they don't want. So this is why they make you jump through so many hoops to go to the restroom, because they want to discourage certain people from going into the restroom. And when you are on the streets and you're homeless in the city, to go inside of a restroom could actually be like very comforting, because if you're outside on the street all the time, it might be raining all the time, it might be windy all day. You can go into a bathroom, it's not windy, you can kind of sit down on the floor and chill, you can get high, there's no one really around you because you're sort of in private, like it's literally a homeless person's like last like private place to go. So I totally get why they would do this, but at the same time, I think when things get this bad, I think you should probably like maybe close the bathrooms for like everyone, right? Because you just don't want that happening. But then also you don't want your customers to have to go through like all these insane steps just to do something extremely simple, like go to the restroom, versus when you go to the Whole Foods location at like Upper Market, you just like walk right in. Like you don't even touch a door. There's no door to even enter the restroom. You just like go in. And at this location, it's like a security checkpoint, as if I'm like in the airport almost. And then you get to the door and you have to do all this scanning and scan that and scan that. And you need a phone. Your phone needs to be fully charged. Your screen needs to not be broken. Your camera needs to not be broke. I mean, just the pee at this location. Once again, I get it. It's because people want to, get high and do drugs. And yeah, this is a messed up situation. Another scenario that happened at this particular Whole Foods, I've seen this over and over, where you would just see people just like mad shoplifting, right? Like straight up like mad shoplifting. And these are things that like I didn't really film, because sometimes like the people that are doing the shoplifting, sometimes they look a little too rough, or they look a little too crazy, right? So it's like I don't want to film this person. But it would happen so often that like I just got to a point where like I didn't really even care about like filming it, right? And then I think my last trip to this location was, I went there maybe about 5 months ago, and I saw something that was on the floor that, like I said, I don't really want to even say it, but this was something that was really disgusting. I actually filmed it. I never shared it with anyone. When this thing was discovered on the floor, like it was like an alert, right? Customers saw it, and also workers saw it, and workers quickly tried to do whatever they could to, hide this thing so people wouldn't see it, by like blocking it and moving carts and, this was something that I saw on reviews. I'm not going to say what reviews, but because I don't want people to just go and rate it. Like I kind of don't want to even say what I saw, because it was really messed up, right? And after that day, I said, look, I'm not going to go to this location anymore, because there's just too much going on. There's people running in, taking stuff. There's people fighting and screaming. There's, incidents with security guards, right? There are, people yelling at employees. There are, profiling. Like, it's just too much going on. And I don't want this to be a part of my day. Basically, like, this is where it boils down to. Like, I don't want this to be a part of my day. Like, life is short, and it should not involve, like, this. Okay, this is too much, y'all. And since you guys have watched this much of the video, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this, because this is what a lot of people, this is what a lot of people know, and this is what a lot of people, they just won't really say this, but I'll go ahead and say it, right? So the real reason why they closed this this Whole Foods and the Tenderloin is everyone wants to blame it on drugs, right? I don't think so. Everyone wants to blame it on, people across the street, people in the neighborhood. Yeah, I mean, I can see that, but I don't think that's the main reason. I think the main reason why this store closed is because of the dope problem that we got in the city. That's why. And the dope makes people do crazy things. And this is just my, I didn't graduate from Stanford or Harvard, no Ivy League school, but my guess is, if it wasn't so much dope around here, maybe it wouldn't push people to do a lot of the crazy things that they do around here. Because some people do things out of, they need to get high and they need to do drugs. Like earlier today, I was going down the street and it was a dude selling pistachios, huge bag of pistachios. Where did he get these pistachios from? I don't know. It sure wasn't anyone asking any questions. It was people just trying to buy pistachios from this dude. And this was at what, 8th and Market? No, 7th and Market, right down the street from our, former Whole Foods location. And it was hella people buying them, right? And at the end of the day, it's, you're gonna have people doing crazy things to support their habit. And in the city, it's not like they're taking it serious to fix this drug problem. Like, they're not. Like, they're just letting it they're just letting it be this way, right? Like, and things should not be this way. Like, it should not be, people like just getting crazy on the streets like this all the time. Like, this should not be normal, but in San Francisco, like, this is like pretty normal. Another big problem that this store has encountered is it's kind of becoming like sort of like a ghost neighborhood around here. You got the Chase Bank, it closed, and some people say the Chase Bank closed because of, they say drug dealers took over it, right, before it closed. But now definitely the drug dealers have taken over it. And then now you got Whole Foods closing. So I don't know what's gonna happen in that spot. Like, my guess is Whole Foods is probably gonna be some sort of a delivery hub, right? They're still gonna be using it. I've also made this prediction, months ago in a prior video that this would happen, and they would have to, bite the bullet and pay that long lease, because I'm pretty sure they got a really good deal for moving to this location. Like, they're probably not paying top dollar. Because why would you pay top dollar to move into this neighborhood? So I'm pretty sure that they must got a deal, but like now they're gonna have to, bite the bullet. They say that this is a temporarily closure, and it very well could be. It could be that they open the store back up in 2 to 3 years. It could be 5 to 10 years. Will it be a temporary closure? I don't really know. They can always say it's a temporary closure, and then it can later turn into a permanent closure. Because I'm pretty sure they don't want to say, we're going to permanently close this store. Like, that is not what they want to come out and say, right? That's going to look so bad for them to come out and say, well, we got this beautiful location, we're going to have to close it. Like, that's going to be bad, bro. But if they say, oh yeah, it's just a temporary closure, they can make it seem like they're gonna open it back up. But like, honestly, I don't think they're gonna open it back up, because the way the city's going, the city is, when you're on a roller coaster, when you first start off, you might go through a little loops, you might go through some swings, and then maybe the roller coaster starts to go up, right? And that junk going up, and things are good, you're happy. And then all of a sudden, when things start to go down, you start screaming, right? People like, we going down, yo. It started going down, and right now, you can already guess what a city at with that whole roller coaster analogy, right? You can already guess what a city at. Before the pandemic, we was going up on that roller coaster, right? Right now, I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. Put it down in the comments below. What you think the city doing? You think it's going up right now, or do you think it's going down? So I think that, this whole work from home is just gonna continue, and I don't know, I predicted this one. I predicted this one a minute ago, and look at it, it's closed. I kind of feel bad because I knew some people that worked there that were really, really cool people, and I don't know if they're gonna lose their jobs or they're gonna be relocated or whatever. I would imagine it was very hard to probably find people to work at that location just because of some of the things that you'd have to deal with. So, out of the safety of the customers, this could be, the safety of the employees, this could be really bad for Whole Foods. Like, for example, I don't think a lot of people really think about this, but if you constantly have people coming into the store, like, fighting your employees, that could get really expensive for the business, right? So you have some crazy person off the street come in and start fighting one of your employees, and now your employee is like injured. Like, your employee about to get paid, yo, because they were on the clock, And when you got a company like Whole Foods, and this is another thing why CVS closed a lot of stores too, because it's a massive liability, yo, right? You got people coming into the store stealing $15 worth of stuff all day. So now the store losing $15 every day. That's way better than someone going into the store trying to steal $15 worth of stuff, and then you got some employee go in there and tackle him, and then they get into a fight, and then the person that stole the $15 worth of stuff, now they suing the corporation, right? Or vice versa. You in a store, someone comes in, starts beating up the employee. Same scenario. So what do you got to do? You got to close stores. You don't want to just be losing money like all across the board, right? You don't want to be losing money. People coming in, stealing your product because they're holding $950 law. And then on top of that, you getting smashed with all these freaking lawsuits because people beating up your employees, or your employees beating up customers because your employees just snapping at the end of the day. They up in there 8 hours, 10 hours. They got to deal with these crazy people doing this, people doing that, people doing this, people doing that. They're only making, $20 an hour. And all of a sudden, one day somebody come in, they say something to them, oh, you look like a blah, 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 blah. And the worker just go ahead and just snap. Boom, just start beating them folks up, right? That might be $200,000-$300,000, y'all. And especially if it's a homeless person in the city, and you know how these woke people are, they will defend homeless people to the T, right? Even if the homeless person did something wrong, they'll still defend them to the T. So, I mean, a homeless dude about to be from living in a tent to now he's on interviews and, people want to talk to him. Oh, they did you wrong. Oh, now you about to get some money. Man, bro, that's why they're closing stuff around here. It's too many ways for these companies to lose money. And you can't run a company to lose money. You gotta run a company to make money. So like I said, I told y'all, and things are gonna get better. They not. I'm gonna go ahead and say this too. There gonna be more Safeway stores closing. Wait for the one on Market Street to close, right? Wait, it'll probably happen in about a year or two. But that Safeway on Market, that joint gonna close, right? They losing too much money out that joint. It might turn into a delivery hub. And they're gonna use the same temporary closure. What they'll probably do to that Safeway is they're probably gonna close that joint down and remodel it, make it much smaller, right? And then have a delivery hub on the other side. So it'll probably be closed down for a couple months. They're gonna make it smaller, make it more modernized, make it harder to walk in there and steal stuff. Or that it's gonna sell certain items in that store, right? They're gonna do the whole Trader Joe's model. So if you don't know about the whole Trader Joe's model, so the thing about Trader Joe's versus Safeway, since we're talking about grocery stores, Whole Foods and all that, so you think about it with a place like Trader Joe's, people don't necessarily go in there and shoplift like they shoplift out of a place like CVS and Whole Foods. And the reason why is because a place like Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, a place like Whole Foods and Safeway, they carry brand name products, okay? Now, brand name products can easily be sold to a lot of people because they recognize that particular brand, right? But you take a place like Trader Joe's, they don't sell anything like name brand. It's all like Trader Joe's brand. Another thing about Trader Joe's, they don't necessarily sell a lot of things that I see people flipping on the street all the time. For example, you go to Target, they got everything locked up, like laundry detergent, deodorant, toothpaste. They got all that stuff locked up, right? But if you go to X block, I don't want to say, but if you go to certain blocks in the city, you can get detergent, you can get shampoo, you can get basically all that stuff that's locked up, right? Well, you notice Trader Joe's don't really sell stuff like that. They don't sell laundry detergent. They do. It might be one bottle. It might be one little small bottle. But it's some laundry detergent that folks don't want. People want Tide. People want, Gain. They want stuff that they know about. They don't want no Trader Joe's brand. They don't want no Trader Joe's soap. They don't want no Trader Joe's deodorant. And yeah, Trader Joe's do sell these items, but they only have one or two. You go over to Safeway, man, you walk down the aisle, man, they got 15 different peanut butters to choose from. You go to Trader Joe's, they got one peanut butter to choose from. So you gotta think, or maybe two, maybe like a salt-free, or maybe a crunchy or a non-crunchy. So the whole Safeway, I think they're gonna do a remodel, and they're gonna, they're gonna push that delivery model big, and they might have a little smaller store. There's gonna be mass security at that joint. It's gonna be hard to run out that joint. It wouldn't surprise me if they started building stores in the city that's like a maze to get out that joint. Like you gotta walk through 3 doors to get out that joint. I'm kind of being a little sarcastic because I don't think I don't think that would be very like democratic to do. I think that people would say like, oh, it's a fire hazard, or they would come up with some sort of weird California building restriction code that you can't like do it like this, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if they wouldn't try it, or someone wouldn't propose that. But anyway, talking about that Whole Foods, y'all, it's closed, it's out. Who knows? It might come back, it might not. But for now, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I'm gonna cut this Uber app on, see if I can make like $10 today on this Uber app. And yeah, that's my little video today. Talking about this old Whole Foods. Yeah. But anyway, I'm out. I'll see y'all later. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all watch the end of this video. I want you to put 59 in the bottom of the video, so that way I know you watch to the end. And also, let me know like what you think about this video. Put something down in the comments about this crazy place that we living in. But anyway, I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace out, y'all.